The Ramble on, talking media to death and diving into spoilers with Brendan.
And Nick, an autopsy for the sinners, an ascension for the saints of film and television.
Alright, welcome to the Ramble on. This is Brendan.
And Nick.
Alright.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay, with Men in Black International, in our American recut, you mentioned something about consistency. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, so this movie has a real problem with characters being consistent, with scenes being consistent, with wardrobe being consistent, with the rules being consistent. Basically, everything about this movie is pretty flexible in the worst ways. For example, Chris Hemsworth's character is a character who's kind of played up as being a very irresponsible, playboy type character, but he'll often flip-flop over into being an incredibly mechanically useful, very, very prestigious agent who is constantly right about his assumptions, constantly doing his homework, and knows a lot more than our scientist character who's supposed to be Bookie, which is Agent M? I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of Chris Hemsworth for Agent H. And Agent M is our young woman who flip-flops between being the nerdy science-type character who can hack into all the government mainframes and do all the extreme knowledge while spouting mumbo-jumbo for science. And then she'll flip-flop into an overconfident, cocky newcomer who's gun-happy and constantly wants to shoot things.
That's actually her to a T. No, she is such a person who's by the book and then breaks all kinds of rules as the movie progresses.
The movie makes a big deal about ever killing anyone because they're law enforcers, not murderers, and then they turn around and murder a lot of aliens, including two completely innocent aliens, just without even so much as a slap on the wrist.
Oh, yeah.
They make a big deal about using a neuralizer for a scene, which I mentioned in the American recut, which is when they, land with the bike, and he's like, we look at the laser pointer, and then she's like, just drive, and then she flashes two people. But then they forget to flash the other,
dozens of others.
50,000
yeah,
that they flew past.
They would not let that slide. MIB would not let that slide.
There's also a long scene where they're like repairing the bike they had and like having the heart-to-heart moment that these movies have to have. And then in the next scene, they arrive at the place by boat.
Yeah.
Which is just basic editing of, hey, maybe if you're going to have a scene of them fixing up the bike, taking the time to repair it, and talking about how much they need the bike.
Use the fucking bike, right?
Maybe they should arrive on the bike and not some boat.
Right? No. It is like you said, explain how they get there, how they get the boat, or But
yeah, this movie has a real bad consistency problem, and that hurts it a lot when you're wondering, wait, where's the bike? Weren't they supposed to have a bike?
Yeah, where's the bike?
Or what about all the people they didn't neuralize? Like, it's just these constant problems that the movie keeps bringing onto itself by flip-flopping so hard.
Right. Which, mind if I segue to story, or should we keep going about consistency?
Go right ahead.
Alright, so, which kind of brings us to our topic of the story. Like I said, this is Sony.
Yeah, if you want to know the spoilers for the story, Liam Neeson is the bad guy. He's the mole. Everybody saw it coming the second they saw his name on the cast list and saw the first trailer. He got mind controlled by aliens at some point during literally the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Somehow.
If you're even stopping to think for a second, why are they framing it this way? Weren't they cutting back to him at some point? You probably figured it out. The character Pawnee, who looks like a Jar Jar Binks type add-on character who's just there to make slow scenes faster, is a Jar Jar Binks type character who's just there to make slow scenes go faster. It's pretty clear there were a few reshoots and a few scenes added just to include his character, and for no other reason.
Very much so. He is very much a Jar Jar Binks character, just comic relief, and that's it.
They also do a thing where in the trailers there's some scenes that are fake, like when they show all the Men in Black agents with like the blue shapeshifty eyes. And
that I remember.
And then it turns out that, oh no, they're just Men in Black agents.
I was so disappointed. Like, I was expecting, these creatures taking over all of MIB, hyping up their threat, but that was not the case.
It's just Liam Neeson.
Yeah, it's just Liam Neeson. Like, oh, well, that's a letdown.
A lot of things just kind of happen in the plot without it meaning anything. Like, early on when we're establishing Chris Hemsworth's character, and he's in the poker deal, he gets attacked by the snake thing, and then he fucks the alien lady.
Ugh.
And then that's it. It doesn't go anywhere.
No.
There's a lot of things where you want there to be a follow-up, but it just never comes back.
No, they never touch it up again. Like, the alien that Molly finds when she's a kid.
Well, he comes back for a scene that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a waste of a perfect plot arc
There's
there.
little Chekhov's guns that they drop where, like, they don't have a follow-up. Like, there's a point when they're in one of the scenes where they're like attacking a arms dealer. It's funny because she has extra arms. but anyways, while she's there, she kind of brings up this point of like, why is he wearing pink pants? And I'm like, why is he wearing pink pants? Maybe that's an important detail. Maybe there's something up with those pants. Maybe it's a technology pants. But no, it's just pink pants. He's just wearing pink pants. Because when they did the casting for it, they couldn't be asked to get the original suit.
Oh. Wait, are you saying this scene was shot before the rest of the movie?
I think it was shot afterwards to have an extra scene for Pawnee.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's exactly what you expect from Sony and modern Hollywood. It's just teleporting their characters to places where they got paid to film.
Right.
Doing some action scenes. The usual save the cat style shit.
Yeah. The only redeemable quality of this movie that I could think of is some of the CGI and effects, which were, of course, modestly entertaining, but, I mean... that's pretty much the only good thing Sony does.
Yeah, so overall, for story, it's a big letdown.
Yeah, same with characters. They yo-yo. They flip-flop quite a bit.
The effects, they actually managed to make this movie look less impressive than Man in Black 1.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, is this the fourth movie?
Yes, it is.
Alright. Oh, Jesus.
It looks so bad.
It does. It does.
So bad.
The trailers heavily telegraphed how bad it'll be, Yeah,
the effects sucked. I want to take a moment to talk about what this movie is missing that Men in Black 1 got so right. Which is the one very central rule to the whole universe. Aliens are people that just live here. They're just people that live here that locally will free people out. Because that's a big part of Jay's character, is that the reason he got into Men in Black and the reason that he got in was because during the shooting range, he shoots a little girl who is doing suspicious things if you think about it, but all the others have reasons for what they're doing. Some of them are sneezing, some of them are working out, what have you. Yeah, it's a great scene, and it establishes why we root for J and K, because they empathize, they care about the people they're working for, and they do that one. Meanwhile, she got in because she wanted to be in, and then she just kills the shit out of a lot of aliens and doesn't even think about it.
Oh, yeah. No, cold and calculated, man. That's a very good point,
And then with the fungus as well, in this story, like, why does he give her the gun? Why does he even have the gun on him?
Oh, God, the giant purple guy. Ugh.
He is the catalyst of the entire plot, so why does he have that gun on him? Why did he give it to her? Did he have psychic powers and know that the Hive were going to try to attack again?
Yeah, that was never really fully established. His arms glowed.
But speaking of, wow, what a great villain. Just a shapeless, nameless entity known as just the Hive that has no members or no villains present on the screen whatsoever. They're just some dudes.
Oh yeah, just some
dudes
imagination.
just some dudes to shoot a big laser at. That's all they are.
What a way! How unimaginative can you get?
It's one of the worst villains I've ever heard of. But yeah, this movie, I think this whole series lost that angle from the first movie, which is the idea that aliens are just people. And that's the joke, and that's part of what makes it fun, because if you remember how the first movie starts, right? Like, it's just J and K doing these little jobs on the street, helping deliver some woman's baby, cracking down on some guys doing some health code violations, making sure that they're keeping things secret. It's just these very small jobs for the first while. It's kind of like Ghostbusters, where they're a very blue-collar job, but they have very fancy ways of doing it.
Right, exactly.
It's the whole appeal of it is that they're just beat officers. They're just doing this stuff. It's not about some grand epic adventure. It's just them being beat officers.
No, it's not about the gear they have. It's just, the jobs they do. Like you said, the whole delivery scene from the first movie, that was...
It's classic, it's fun, and it establishes important things about the characters.
Very much so. And the organization itself, what it stands for, and how the characters fit into that organization very well.
So, that's probably what's been lost about these movies and will probably never get back because nobody makes movies like the original Ghostbusters or Men in Black anymore. They don't make these small films.
And that's a damn shame.
They keep trying to compete with AAA blockbusters, which nobody can make a AAA blockbuster anymore because Marvel made the biggest one. You can't compete with that. There's no way.
How can you?
It's literally the biggest. They did it. They killed the AAA genre.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they just took a super fist right through the whole thing.
Yeah. What else is there to discuss about this film, though?
And you know what? This film is just it's just part of an ongoing trend of nostalgia and...
it's nostalgia bait, thoroughly.
Nostalgia bait and just... what's the word I'm looking for? The whole remake trend.
It's absolutely nostalgia bait. It's part of the remake trend. And they had no ideas when they made this movie. They just wanted a Men in Black movie.
Oh, yeah. No, they definitely had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
So, typical Sony.
Typical Sony.
I've got nothing else to talk about this movie. It was just a boring waste of time. Like, it wasn't fun bad. It wasn't bad in a way that's fun to pick apart. It was bad like bland porridge.
Yes.
Like, I can sit here for 2 hours and stare at a blank screen if you want me to, but I don't care.
No.
This is just a time waste.
It was a total time waste. It just... Like Goose said, bland porridge.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a recommendation or whatever, no.
No, there's no... We have no positive opinions about this movie. It's not the worst movie we've seen, but it's easily top 5.
I feel like, for myself, while there are bad movies that I hate and like to hate and have fun hating, this is a movie that's bland. And I think that, in my opinion, the only thing that's worse than a bad movie is a bland movie. Because at least with a bad, terrible movie, there's some effort. Somebody tried something. There was some heart put into it. Even with Aladdin, where they messed up everything they possibly could, somebody at least tried to do something. With this movie, they weren't trying. Nobody cared. This was just, we want a Men in Black movie. Alright, get some CG aliens in here, get a basic plot about, get the MacGuffin, and shoot the things. And we'll call it a day. Who's the bad guy? Liam Neeson. Alright.
You know what? That's a good point. In some ways it's kind of like they approach it with the same energy as the Lego Movie 2.
I thought they approached it with the same energy as Men in Black 3. Which you might remember. That's the one where they time travel and go back in time, and then it's just a really stupid, this is the 1970s. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that little gimmick.
Yeah, it's the same kind of energy that you see with a lot of Sony's films, where the problem isn't they're so incompetent, they can't do anything right. It's more, they did fine. I don't care what I'm seeing on the screen. I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
If you think about it on a scale from The Room all the way up to Pulp Fiction, The Room leaves an impression because it's fun, it's really bad, and you can have fun picking it apart and having a mean-spirited laugh. And with the classic big films, they of course have a major point. They leave something with you afterwards. With this one, I barely remember the plot. I barely remembered it after I left the theaters.
Yeah. It just leaves you indifferent, really. Like I said, the characters are cookie cutter, the plot's boilerplate safe, if not incredibly fast paced. It's just 90 minutes of whatever.
It's so boring. I hate these kinds of films because I know what they're doing. They're just churning out a movie. And fine, you can make a movie. I would rather watch the worst movies I've seen in theaters than watch this again.
No, that's a good point. You make a compelling argument. It's better to see a bad movie in theaters because it leaves some kind of impression.
Somebody tried to do something.
Right. And there's effort put into it. But movies like this, no. It's just...
It's the same reason why I haven't watched any of the new X-Men movies, because they're clearly not trying.
No. And that's why we didn't even bother going last week, because we really didn't want to see that. No, very underwhelming, very cookie cutter, very...
This is quite possibly the worst summer releases I have seen in a very long time.
No, in all the movies we've reviewed so far, a lot of them have been pretty underwhelming. The only positive one I could think of so far is Shazam.
Shazam was a lot of fun. I liked Shazam a lot. Godzilla at least did some fun stuff with the monsters and paid off on what we were promised for the monster fighting.
Yeah.
Aladdin sucked.
Detective Pikachu was...
It was kind of a dumb Zootopia.
Yeah.
But this one was just... It was the... And this is a movie too in the theaters. This was, if we were going back to the old Nickelodeon ages, this would be the B-reel film where it's just there so that you feel like you got your money's worth.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's exactly what this movie is.
Like, you got the header, and then you got Men in Black International. It's like, oh, another one? Okay, sure.
All right.
Might be some cool guns.
Yeah, some cool... Yeah, no
Not that
kidding.
there were any. There were no cool guns in this. They were all just the same stupid-looking blaster rip-off thing of, like a revolver-style gun. They were all the same damn gun, and they all look stupid.
Right, it's... conventional firearms given a teal coat of paint.
Except for the star gun, I guess, which okay. Cool.
All right, yeah. It's a gun. It's
a gun. It's a big gun.
It's a pocket Death Star. Let's put it that way.
It's a revolver by Chekhov. It's very clearly going to be used for something. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't care about this movie.
Nor I. Anything else you care to contribute?
No.
Yeah.
Trying to talk about this movie makes my brain hurt.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us in the Ramble On, and we'll see you next film.
Thanks for joining us. Next week should be more fun. There's some actual movies coming out.
God, I hope. All right. See you, folks.